Hello, welcome again. My name is Karolina Skulska, and along with Europia we are creating a series of videos that will explain you a little bit about what resilience is. It will give you all the techniques and tools to be able to manage crises or difficulties you might face within your lifetime or within a crisis we are at that moment. So today we're going to talk about nutrition and about exercise. And I know then it might be difficult for us to choose rightly when it comes to food. There is so much choice out there. And then on the top of that, there are our preferences. And if you don't have this knowledge, it's quite hard to push a machine, which are our bodies, that need a lot of healthy fuel to get us through our lives. And we need to remember about another thing, that our goods are our brain as well, like a second brain, not maybe exactly brain. What does that mean? That means then if our goods are healthy, we tend to feel better, we tend to be a lot more energized. And well, face it, if you're getting up with energy and with a smile and with your mental clearance, it's so much easier. If you haven't watched our previous videos, please come back to them, because there is a lot of techniques how to manage your head in particular. Okay, let's start. Today I would like to introduce you into the technique which I am in love in, only because it has been discovered, and this man turned around the world of nutrition and sport a little bit. Up to that point, it was believed that, for example, to lose weight, you need to decrease your calories a lot and increase exercise. But has been done so many times, and it was discovered that it's actually damaged a personal metabolism. So this gentleman created a company which is called Precise Nutrition, and then started to provide a more habitual way of looking at what we eat and the way we train. And it's amazing because then we don't need to run around and count our calories, and we don't need to think what we need to eat next, because he is giving us such an easy way of doing that, which I of course tell you about a little bit. So they've discovered that our bodies are very specific, and as you probably noticed, we are all different. They also discovered that what we need to eat, it's much more connected with our hand size, and I will get there in a minute. They also discovered then the same with your nutritional habit, which should be built up. Your exercise habit should be also built up gradually, which I absolutely love, because I hate people going into the gym. And I often, when I train, and I'm physio background, so for me it's really, really obvious when I see a trainer trying to push the person towards the program which is too difficult for them and which they are not ready for yet. And there are two problems with that. So the first one, if your body is not prepared, and it's often connected with our core, so with our tummy and our back muscles, which should keep us steady and support our spine. We need to remember that our spines are there is everything going on in there. So all the signals from your brain are going down this line, which is our spine, so we are able to feel what is on our skin and we are able to move. So if we are injured anywhere there apart from the pain, that might affect our limbs or our internal organs as well. So it's so important to build a core to be able to move further. And it's very sad that I can often see then it is just not done properly. So please remember just to train with a specialist, check your specialist as well. And there are certain programs which are advised, which are online. But if you never trained before, try to make sure then you will contact someone at least for 2 or 3 sessions, just for them to teach you the basics. Because if you know how to do a squat properly, if you know how to keep your core while you're exercising your tummy, it will then at first will be much more effective, and at second it will help you to move much quicker towards your goals. But let's come back to nutrition. So coming back to Dr. John Berardi and his program, so they discovered then this hand of ours has like it outlines the way we should be eating. So they discovered then this part of the hand should be our protein portion, and if you are man, that should be 2. So if you're female, this is your protein portion. If you're man, that's 2 of them portions. And what exactly are protein? What does that include? So the first and most important ones, if you are eating animal product, that will be lean meat, lean fish. Another source of protein, that will be your lentils. There are some proteins as well with some salads. There are some protein with, for example, with almonds, but we need to again come back to eggs. Then we have our milk product, our dairy. So we have cottage cheese, we have yogurts, and then plant-based, as I mentioned, is pea, is soya, rice, hemp, and more. So with every meals, we should include this portion of protein. I will be nicking down just to make sure that I will give you all the information and I don't miss anything. Okay, so we know that. So we should have, dependent on our activity level, we should have 3. If we are not very active, I'm not very active at that moment because I'm working from home, as you can probably see. So I need to look at 3 portions. If you are working in a warehouse, and then if you maybe exercise on the top of that, that should be at least 4 portions then. So they've discovered then portion of carbohydrates should be what is fitting into our hands in here. So in here, we should fit portion of our carbohydrates. So what are they again? So bread, cereals, potatoes, grains, rice, whole grain, all minimally processed. We need to look at that as well. Pastas, preferably whole grains, quinoa, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and fruits. There are also vegetables, but vegetables should have their own space on our plates, which I will mention about as well. So this is our portion of carbohydrates. Female 1, men 2. And then the third, we are having our fats. So our fats should consist of our palm from the beginning up to that place, and again with all his weight. So our fats can be taken from in the form of oil, of course. So it's either linseed oil, olive oil, avocado oil. There is variety, but it's also in nuts, it's in fish. So there is variety, and variety is the word should be widely used in nutrition, because the more variety food we will include in our diet, the more nutrition we can then have. Of course, not processed food. And when we are making a meal, it's quite important. So again, portions. Protein, if you're female, 1. If you're male, 2. Carbohydrates, they should fit in here. Again, if you're female, 1. If you're man, 2. And this is our fats. Men, female, men. Perfect. And okay, but what we eat is the same important into how we eat. So, are you eating slowly and mindfully? We are so busy these days, and it doesn't matter whether you're at work and you're rushed or whether you're at home and children are running. It's very seldom that we're sitting down and actually chewing. And we need to remember that our digestion process starts in our mouths. So this is when fats are starting to be broken down. So if we skip that step, it's so much harder for our bodies to digest that down the way. So eat slowly. We shouldn't be filling ourselves up to the limit. So we should be eating up to 80%. Why? Because it takes time for our brains to send the signal down to our stomach, and it's taking about half an hour. So if you eat slowly and mindfully, you will notice then you will eat much less. And again, if you eat up to 80%, within a half an hour, you will notice then you are full. And we actually are consuming too much of products in general, which we don't need. And we've had a situation not very long time ago, then shelves in our stores were empty. Whatever was said is quite useful, because now you know how you can change the product. So if you don't have meat, for example, you can then give alternative to meat in your cottage cheese or within your fish, and you know then your body will work the same way. And the same with other products. So I remember when this situation happened and I went into store, I haven't had any problems to buy a product, because I knew that I don't necessarily need to eat fish, but I will find the same source of or protein in cheese, for example. So I think it's good to you won't probably get all the knowledge from this video, but have at least a little bit of understanding about a different type of nutrition. And then it's often, when I'm working with my clients, it is often said then it's quite difficult and it's time consuming to eat healthy, which is another myth. Because then if you think about that, for me, I'm quite a busy person. So what would I do? I will, for example, have boxes in my fridge, which means then I will cut up my vegetable a little bit earlier and I will skip them in my fridge. I plan meal, so I know what I will be eating for next week. So I know then I will use, for example, this amount of pepper and this amount of salad and this amount of fish, because me personally, I'm not eating meat. So I have that prepared, and even if I get hungry, I don't need to grab a sandwich. I will go and grab a little bit of salad, a little bit of pepper, or I will do a quick shake, consists of a little bit of protein, fruits and oats, and it will fill me, and I will also feel well after. We also need to remember that whatever it was said, it's toward a healthy people, because there is a lot of people, and I am as well one of them, people who will require a special diet due to my autoimmune problems and my gut problems. So I know that I can't have specific things in my diet, but then I had to have that consulted with someone who is a clinician in their role. So if you have any health problems, please go into clinicians. So you have people who are dietitian and they know how to manage your diet. So I can advise to people who are absolutely healthy how to eat healthy, how to lose or gain weight. However, always remember that if someone is not specialized, try not to make them to manage your diet if you have any health conditions, because dietitians has this beautiful power or make you feel and make your body work better, because they have more in-depth knowledge about that. Okay, I hope that you know a little bit more about nutrition. Along nutrition, the very important step is to move. And form of the movement, it's again very dependent of the person. So for example, you can tell, then I am not a tiny lady. I am an endomorph, which means my shoulders are quite wide, my hips will be wide, and I will never go and work as a model because my body is just built up slightly differently. So my preferences will be very similar. I will definitely enjoy more having a weight workout than run a marathon. So don't make anyone tell you that you should be exercising in a certain way. You need to remember that you need to have a little bit of strength in your body. You need to have flexibility, but the way it's consistent, and you need to do a little bit of cardio in a healthy mixture. But the way is designed, it's again very dependent of the person, and you don't have to go through the program that other people are going, because you might not be this happy because of your preferences. You are individual, and the same with approach to your mental health, your physical health, it's much more the same. What is good for me, it's not going to be the same good for you, because you're different, you have different like and dislikes. You will like different things in your diet, and you will prefer, for example, meat from fish, and that's absolutely fine. So please don't stress yourself over that. But I believe like a basics, everyone should get through those. So I would like to advise you to go and do a little bit of research on what is included in the particular foods like proteins, carbohydrates and fats. And as well, remember to have vegetables with every meal. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Stay healthy and take care.